Another thing that I think when I applied for the situation is there are dance programs where it's really easy to be a double major, which it sounds like you want to do, or just be involved in some ways. And then others where it's really difficult. So that's somewhere that if you're looking at a college, we would definitely check out. Did you say plant biology or just biology? Plant biology. So that's very specific. Yeah, and so that might be more specific than dance. And so it sounds like you're going to about a good way, which is identify the places for plant biology. Good on you for looking at all those different places in different parts of the country. And you're going away from home. That's one thing that our program does too. It has a BA with a business club. So you can get a BA in dance and take lots of business classes. You can also get a business minor or double major with that. But the stuff that we had, that I was talking about, BA, BFA minor, but specifically our BA is designed for people who want that business experience.
Dance majors in college, we have a lot of whispers. Let's just pretend that that's the world we're living in right now with all of you. So now what to do next? So accountability with teachers, your advisors, and what do I do? So the conversation starts with somebody who knows you. Okay? So that's a dance educator or teacher who knows you quite well, so that she can stimulate your brain to think about where your passions lie with dance. And then that helps direct you into specific programs which you have to do homework about. You have to find out what is this program about. Is it going to suit many? Is it big? Is it small? Is it ballet focused? Is it contemporary focused? Is it track to Broadway? What is this program? Right? So then you do your homework about what they require you to do in the audition and the resume process. And then you begin the daunting task of building a portfolio, which is what you need. So that's a lot of information that you should spend at least 2 hours talking about.
If you're interested in being a dance major in college, you have to ask yourself a little bit about what is it you want to see yourself doing with dance after that college degree. And some people want to perform, and some people want to teach, and some people want to go and do something dance related that isn't one of those things. And there's just a great big broad universe of possibilities out there. And you need to start thinking about what kind of environment do I need in order to become my best self. And there are no two dance universities in this nation that are the same. Okay? You know the great big schools, right? You know that there are small schools. There are schools in a city. There are schools in the country. There are schools in state, out of state. Did you know Ohio's got more dance universities than any other state? I bet you thought New York had more. We've got them beat. It's really crazy. So there's in-state and out-of-state. There are different kinds of universities, like public schools, private schools, there are church-related schools, there are all-women's colleges, there are historically black colleges and universities. There are a universe of different kinds of schools, all of which have dance programs. Then you look at these programs, and they're all different too. Some of them have a certain focus. It's all a ballet school, or most of them are. Some of them are training the next cruise ship performer professionals and the Broadway performer professionals. Then there are some that have sort of this attitude that there is no one dance that's more important than the others, so they give equal weight to ballet training, modern training, and world dance training. If you ever look at any of the universities that are on the West Coast in California, all of them have a major world dance component. So you're in there and you're taking hula and African dance the same amount of hours that you are taking ballet. And people are falling in love with all kinds of wonderful movement in those kinds of environments. So So, you know, I encourage my students when they're starting to look at, you know, what kind of dance department might fit into, I encourage them to look at what they like, as well as something that they didn't think that they liked. Because I know for me personally, I always wanted to go to a great big school with football games, you know, and like tailgating, you know, and parties and stuff like that. And I ended up at a teeny tiny 4-year all-girls school that didn't have any of those things. And then when I was in high school, most of my friends were the fellas. And here I am in an all-girls school when I had catfights with girls throughout my high school career. I ended up being very, very happy there, and that was a pleasant surprise. So I encourage you to look at all kinds of settings, even though they might not appeal to you right at first glance. Also, that you would feel better about a place if you visited it. And that becomes very expensive, especially if it's out of state. But if you've got the time and the resources to even think about this school, then you need to make the time and the resources to travel to that school and spend a night there somehow. So that
And
you
take
can
a class there.
feel if it feels at home and take a class.
And talk to the others.
Definitely. Some schools are a conservatory approach, and what you have to look out for there is, are those dance departments trying to figure out who can cut it and who can't? Because if you can't, they're going to let you go. And that's terribly painful to think about. And then there's some departments that are much more nurturing and willing to take all sorts of different kinds of body types and all sorts of different types of abilities and passions and build those into a person that can do anything. The quick way to think of it, which I tell my students, is you want to look for a school that's a door opener, not a door closer. And then you build materials for yourself that you can take with you to those auditions that represent you well. You want to be ready for the right class. If they have a solo component, you want to be ready with a good solo. You want to have portfolio materials with you. And I also tell my students this too. For every 500 girls or boys that audition for a dance program, the ones that are set apart are the ones that have already done their own choreography. So if you're interested in going to a university for dance, the bulk of your education is going to be learning to choreograph. It would be great if you could show them that you've already got your feet wet.
Improvisation skills, improvisation skills, improvisation skills, improvisation skills. That's what you need when you go apply to college. Improvisation skills. So you gotta kind of step out of your comfort zone. And we've all been there. Every single intern this week, you're lying and they told us they were never uncomfortable the first time you were asked to improvise to a specific task. So, like Taylor Swift says, shake it off and just do it, because that is a skill that they value, that is a skill that they require. And in an audition, you will probably most likely be asked to improvise. So I'm just telling you, it's part of the audition process. They will ask for you, they're interested in you as a creative being for the most part. Look for a university that values you as a person, as well as a person. And portfolios, go online.
Is it torn? Is it torn? No, it's strained, a deep sprain or strain. Just one thing, if you're along these lines, if the spur or a little bone formation called osteophyte forms there, it's natural. It's good that it forms because it helps the joints to be stable, in line. It's like from the curve, you want the street with a curve there, so it keeps the street lined up. So many times they dissolve. If the right piece of that happens, where they get a really beautiful balance of strength
strength. This way, to this way, to this way, to this way, core, you know, blah, 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 blah. You get all those balances together in the body. And it's very doable, and it happens a lot, and it doesn't take 50 years. And, you know, and sometimes it's a little more convenient. I'm not putting surgical medication down, but sometimes it's not necessarily required. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and a dancer's pretty aware of that, you know, take care of the body without like some drastic thing, but sometimes it's necessary. So you might have some scoring form, you might have some little tissue formations in there, but you just want to work on balance, some balance mechanics there. I'm going to talk to you about that. You know, one thing that's been really great also is taping, kinesio tape. Kinesio tape, rock tape, it acts like a little body glove and it helps to train those muscles. Yeah, it's really nice. So I can tell you about that. Done.
I'm not sure if you already said this, but what kind of like, I don't want to say diet, but I want to say like what kind of food would you suggest eating every day? For meals?
Well, we just mentioned some of the relationship to inflammation. You've all heard so many times fruits and vegetables, whole grains are good for you. But those are all anti-inflammatory foods. They reduce inflammation in your body, they reduce stress hormones in your body so that your body can actually deal with injuries and heal faster. In particular, I just gave a talk earlier today about some of the nutritional deficiencies that we see commonly in dancers. Vitamin D deficiency is a big problem, especially in the Cleveland area because it's cloudy like it is today most of the year. But then as dancers, no matter where you live, you spend so many hours inside the dance studio. And especially if you're like a student, you go to school all day, you're inside a classroom all day, then you go to the dance studio, you take your dance classes, you rehearse, then when you get done, it's dark out. Well, you've missed all of the sunshine hours, and vitamin D, one of the main ways that we get vitamin D is from sunlight. So we're actually seeing a resurgence in vitamin D deficiency problems in this country because one, people are not drinking milk as much as they used to. But there are very few plant sources of vitamin D, and if we're inside playing video games all the time, or as dancers doing what we do indoors, we're not getting out in the sunlight. And that's part of the big problem with adults getting vitamin D deficiency, and it goes undiagnosed for a very long period of time because the symptoms are kind of vague. Fatigue is one of them, but before it even gets to that level, it's already affecting your immune system, it's affecting hormone balance in your body, and the best thing to do is just to make sure that you're getting out into the sun 15 minutes a day, 2 or 3 times a week.
Well, ballet's just a great base to have. I mean, it allows you to do a lot of things.
Would it never be like, oh, too much balance?
Yeah.
I think it's great that we have it. I think if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have went through the path we did.
Yeah, and having the other backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like the jazz. So how has that changed your views of dance a little bit, since there was a lot of ballet and then modern was coming in?
I stopped dancing for a season because I don't like ballet. And so, you know, but like once they started bringing up dancing, you know, I liked the combination.
Yeah, I kind of hit a moment, part of it was like when I went to college, I was like, oh, get rid of ballet. I'm like, I'm going modern. And then when I was there, I was like, I hit a different perspective with modern. I was like, oh, there's a different, I can take a different approach. I can inform my modern dancing with my ballet technique. And so then like when I started taking ballet, I actually started really loving it. And I was like, I just looked at it differently. Like, what are the things I need to work on in modern, and how can I approach that strengthening it in ballet technique? So I fell in love with ballet again, and I was like, it's okay.
All the principles of modern, right? Weight, breath, all this stuff. Totally applies.
Yeah,
But we just don't talk about it.
And we should.
Yes, we should.
I think that's missing in a lot of our education, but bringing all those things together.
ballet, so it's gonna make your ballet so much more fun, and it's gonna make your technique more fun.
One thing I love about modern is there's so much information. I'm like, oh, I love all this richness, and I get to apply it and really think about it. That's in ballet too. It's just approached a little differently. It's not maybe like talked about as much. So like I try to like think about that when I'm taking the ballet class, or even when I'm taking the ballet class now. I'm just like, okay, I need to try to like talk differently about this versus like. But like, you know, you really need to think about working completely through the foot, and like I talk about the anatomy a lot and try to blend my modern approaches into the ballet approach.
And remember that, like, you make artistic choices as a ballet dancer. Like, where does your head go? Just listen to your teachers first. If they say you have to put your head in a specific place, do that. Don't tell them that.
Aaron told me.
but really, like, playing with, you know, your tongue in front, you look up at the ceiling. Like, that's fine. That's an artistic choice. Make it. And I think it's interesting, too, to feel all these different, your head's heavy, right? So it's going to pull you this way. What has to happen to bring you back? So there's a lot of, like, personality.
And that's why I like when you said contemporary ballet is so grateful.
Yeah.
Because it has that aspect of some sort of modern in it and some sort of ballet that you still love. So
I think when something like that happens, there you get to the point where you say, I'm not just a technician, I'm an artist. So like, yes, I have this technique base, but when I go into this class, what is my artistry going to be like today? And that kind of can pull you out of that lull.
and also, I mean, like you said, she has the same bar basically. Yes, that can be terrible, but you already know what's coming. So how can you make it easier? How or harder? Add more to it. Like maybe I'm doing these Fridays on right now. You know, maybe I'm doing an extra beat here and there. You know, make it your own.
Or what's your upper body strength?
Exactly.
And you're never the same. Like, you have a combination of the same every week, but you're not. Like, you've got whatever going on, and maybe you're like really angry, you're having an amazing day, but how does who you are, how does how you're feeling that day?
I know you think it was just a class, but class is, I mean, that's where you learn who you are as an artist. This bar and technique
And trying things, and
yeah.
feeling horribly, like,
Yeah.
that's how you learn.